Hello! So this could be the first ever proper recorded voiceover for one of my videos, and the first video I'm doing it on is an Adventure Time Speedpaint because Adventure Time finished. It had its finale and it's sadly over, and I kind of wanted to make more of like a special video. I normally just kind of like churn out speed paints with minimal audio. There's never really been one with a voiceover. That's if you're not counting the really badly recorded Inktober one, which I recorded with my dad's microphone he uses to record drums, which means the quality was recorded audio is on the topic of Inktober. It's just talking about kind of why you should do it and why you shouldn't do it. It wasn't very good, it was a bit crap. But forgetting that, this speed paint is of Marceline and Bubblegum from, well, Princess Bubblegum from Adventure Time. It's the first kind of like one where I've done two characters really interacting. I've done a lot of like characters next to each other, like stood next to each other. I always kind of like avoid poses with characters actually like interacting because I'm not that great at them. I apologise as well as like a pretty large jump cut halfway through this. A lot of the time I was going between recording the video and not recording the video. I couldn't decide if I actually wanted to make this into like a full-blown speed paint because I was trying out my new laptop and I didn't know how I was going to transfer the files from the new laptop to the old laptop. The new laptop is wonderful for recording and it's amazing and everything, but I have no memory sticks and I have no way really to transfer the files over because they're so large. I use OBS Open Broadcast software to record all my videos, and the only problem is the files afterwards are absolutely massive. But having given that, I figured out a way to do it luckily, but that is why the speed paint is coming out literally like what feels like 3 years after the actual finale. Talking about years, how long has Adventure Time been going on and now it's finished? I literally remember watching it when I was 12 and just seeing such like an amazing show. That was something that kind of boosted me towards wanting to do animation. I'm gonna be going off and studying animation in a couple of days, and literally seeing the news of like, oh, Adventure Time has its finale, Adventure Time's finished. It was like someone basically going, newsflash, your childhood is over. Surprise! I should probably talk about what I'm actually doing here, shouldn't I? Like a proper voiceover for a video. I'm currently colouring in kind of all the different flat colours. I started out with a sketch that I did multiple different poses and different like interactions. Originally it was going to be like a kiss between Marceline and Bubblegum, but I can't draw kisses very well and it always ended up looking like two people with just their faces smushed together. So I was like, oh, I'll do some like cute little kind of like pose of the two of them like holding hands and being cute. And then the idea came, I remembered that like Marceline can float, and I was like, oh, how about like having both of them floating? And I remembered the whole like Slow Dance With You song, which is just so romantic and so adorable, and was like, oh, I'll have them like looking like they're dancing together and floating. And that kind of worked. It looks okay. It's a more interesting pose than I normally do. But again, like I can see, like I always look at myself with a critical eye. I can see how I'd want to improve it now. I would kind of want the silhouette to be more clear, so you could actually see like the two separate characters, so that you could tell like what was going on. Like it's not a very clear silhouette, but I'm still pretty happy with it. I tried a lot of new things in this speed paint, like kind of using more textured brushes. Now that I have like this version of Sai on my new computer, it doesn't have any of the old brushes I used to use, so all of this is just new brushes, new textures, such and other. I took a lot of inspiration from Kitsune Zakara. I'm not pronouncing that right, I can tell. I'll put a little caption of who I'm talking about because it doesn't sound very clear what I'm doing. It doesn't sound very clear what I'm saying. I know how to speak English, I know how to talk. But yeah, I took a lot of inspiration from Kitsune Zakara and kind of wanted to put a lot of colours into it, have a lot of like colours reflecting off of it, because like Bubbline's kind of armour, I wanted that to be kind of always look sort of metallic and kind of reflective. So I took a lot of the colours that were coming off each part of the costume and would reflect them off them, and then like things like Marceline's jeans I would take the colour of the jeans, kind of soften it a little bit, blend it onto the kind of armour, and then take the colour of the armour and then blend it onto the jeans as well. So it's kind of like all the different colours reflecting off of them. And I've seen a technique now that I kind of wish I could have used if I'd seen it beforehand, which is you can take your base colours, like Gaussian blur them, and then add them on top of your line work so that your line work has also like got the effect of the colours on them. But if I'd seen that earlier, I'm pretty sure I would have kind of added it. And this is the difficult bit. This is the bit that kind of drove me a bit nuts. What kind of colours do you use to blush Marceline? Because Marceline has such like a muted grey skin tone that I always feel like if I over blush, which is something I do a lot in my art, I need to kind of like tone it down a bit. If I over blush her face, she's gonna look really weird and like very strange. So I try my best to like make her look kind of blush but not overly blush, and then again you can see like I'm adding the reflection of like Bubblegum's hair and Marceline's hair. I tried to add like a lot of colour to Marceline's hair because I don't want it to look like just a flat block. I think sometimes when I do like dark hair colours, it just kind of like merges into one kind of shade, so I wanted to add a lot of like highlights and things. Again, here I'm adding more like texture and colours. That's the like colour of Bubblegum's armour, reflecting with that. I added blue for shading to kind of like contrast the kind of reds and pinks I just added. And I really wanted like all the colours to kind of not blend together but like stand off of each other and like reflect off of each other. I use blue a lot for shading when I've done something that's very like warm and pink and saturated. And then this is just me adding the little highlights, tidying up anything that I've made messy, changing the pose around a bit, moving them around, and then a bunch of colour overlays, which I kind of wish I hadn't done. I kind of like the original colours a lot better than the actual colour overlays. But yeah, here's the final product. I'm pretty happy with it. Again, there's a lot of things I would have changed, some things with the silhouette, the way that the pose is, but I am overall really happy with the way this came out. I hope that this voiceover hasn't been too rambly, and I'm going to hopefully be posting a lot more once I've settled into uni. Thank you very much for listening and for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this speed paint, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comments.